We are recording, and I'd like to thank all of you, what a crowd, for making it to another meeting of the Realty 411 with Linda Pliagas and the Santa Barbara RIA, me, Dan Ringwald. And we've got a lot of great information for you today. I really encourage you to just kind of wave your hand and say, hey Dan, what about this or that? And stop me and ask questions, because we're going to try and keep this a small group. We're going to try and keep this so that it's easy for people to ask these questions. We don't want you to wait until the thing's all over, because you're going to lose your train of thought and it's going to be difficult anyway. So just interrupt anytime you need to. I'm good with that. We are here at Cody's Cafe in Santa Barbara, Goleta. We're right on the edge. There's a huge parking lot out there because there's a little shopping center with free parking. So we've got lots of space for people just to pull up. You don't have to worry about that. We've got this nice event room. As you can see down below here, it's not real big, but it's cozy. And you know, this really is about education and networking. So we're going to break at about 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock for lunch, and that'll be another chance for everybody to talk. And we've got Trevor coming in. Let me just get this little clicker of mine here. There we go. And see if we can get this going. Yeah. So Linda Pliagas. Linda, would you like to come up and just say a couple things about what you're doing?
Oh, sure.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you. And now if you stand right in front of the screen,
Okay.
you'll be in the video.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Pliagas. I'm the publisher of Realty 411. I've been an agent for over 17 years. I'm currently renewing. But I really don't work as an agent all that much. My primary focus is real estate investing. My husband and I moved out to Solvang, California about 15 years ago from Los Angeles. And when we moved out here, I was kind of depressed because I was doing a lot of out-of-state investing at the time. And I'm like, I'm not going to live 10 minutes from LAX now. Where am I going to buy properties? That's it. I'm done. My career as a landlord is going to be, stopped. Well, guess what, guys? I started doing deals in Santa Barbara County. Now, we've done flips in Lompoc. We bought a townhouse in Santa Maria. I'm on the second house that we own in Solvang. We're up to 5 rentals already in the Santa Barbara County area. There's deals here, guys. I mean, if you look, we've been able to purchase a little small house in a great area of Lompoc for $165. We purchased a condo in Vandenberg Village by Vandenberg Air Force Base for about $175. I mean, they don't come all that often, but when you look every single day in the MLS and you're ready, to make a deal happen, you can definitely do it, because there are deals out here as well. So just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Really appreciate you jumping up here, giving us a rundown.
Thank you.
That whole thing about the Lompoc area
Yeah.
and Vandenberg. Vandenberg has been up and down for military stuff for years. If the military was hot, Lompoc, that area was hot. If it wasn't, it was all dead. I'm sure you all know about Starlink and SpaceX and all that. They're already launching quite a few things at Vandenberg. And there's a company with a couple of people, and we do have a video here on the Santa Barbara RIA website, which if you go to the blog, you can look back and see it. They are pulling financing together and trying to create an educational facility right next to Vandenberg, which will be for people to go to learn and watch the launches as close as you can possibly get. They'll have kind of an entertainment thing. It's almost like, it's never going to be as big as Disneyland, but it's enough to have facilities for education, facilities for events where people can get up and speak, for food, whatever. And really, you should go back to the website and look for that, because when you see that, what you're going to realize is between the increased launches and people wanting to see that happen, and what this museum will provide, I think everything from probably San Luis to Ventura is going to increase in value because of that. How much, I don't know. Some people will go, well, I'm moving out of Lompoc, I'm tired of listening to this. But I heard recently that they are now bringing back the boosters to land out farther away in the ocean, so they're not hearing quite the boom, boom, boom when they take off. Because that boom, boom, boom isn't it taking off, it's the part that's coming back down to land and be reused that makes all those sonic booms. Okay, so that, you know, anything from San Luis, I think, to Ventura, because of those reasons, might be a serious reason to take a look at investments in that area. Okay, so yeah, Linda's here, she can help you too. She's been the person that, you know, has been kicking me in the butt for years, going, come on Dan, let's do the next one, let's do this, let's do that, why don't you get to a better place, whatever. And after all this time, I kind of feel like we're here at Cody's, which is a small venue, and I really want to keep it small so that we can do the networking. We can have the questions asked, we can give the answers, and we can enjoy this more than just have this production line whatever, and then go, oh, wow, there's a lot of work, I want to go home and sleep for 3 days, you know? So I think this is a good venue. I think it's going to work. Now we've got Trevor, who's going to be in here at 11 o'clock, and he's going to speak about 1031 exchange. Paul Wilkins does show people how to, you know, stay out of probate and how to deal with inheritance cash and all that. He's really good. Unfortunately, he was going to speak between 1 and 2. He's not going to be here, so I'm going to fill in as much as I can, as much as you want, and if we go home early, then we'll go home early. I've got what I'm calling the trifecta: AI, vacant land, and solar. And it's kind of funny because you think of AI, a lot of people are like, I hate AI, I just wish it would die and go away. Other people are going, hey, it's going to save my life, it's going to make it so much easier. There's a lot of changes happening a lot faster than we think. All that stuff that you look at, looks like AI, and solar seems like tech. That's just, I don't want to deal with all that tech stuff. And land seems like, okay, at least that's real estate. But actually land's getting to be tech too, because it's all going to be driven by people who use the AI technology to both find land, sell land, do whatever they do. So there's going to be a lot more tech involved in that as well. But we're here to kind of help you with all that. If you don't want to be involved in the tech side, you don't have to be. I can help you. There's plenty of people who know way more about this than I do, and they can help you. And I've got people I can lead you to, and companies I can lead you to that are way better than I am. And so, you know, that's kind of my job to help you there too in that avenue. Santa Barbara Computing, if we go back and look, AI is really my company, Santa Barbara Computing Services, that I've had ever since I was working out at UCSB. I worked there for 26 years as an IT. That's why I'm into all this tech stuff, is because I love IT, and I can always tell when I'm getting frustrated with real estate, because I find myself hiding in my IT work when I'm supposed to be doing my real estate work. And it's like, okay, Dan, you know what you're doing, don't you? You need to get back and get moving on some of the real estate. So my claim to fame at UCSB was a student of mine. I had about 20 students working for me and about 3 or 4 full-time staff. One of my students came to me one day in the early 80s and said, hey, Dan, look at this. UCLA and Hawaii are the only campuses that are doing this, and we should be doing it too. And I said, what is it? He said, well, it's this thing called Mozilla. And I said, what is that, butter? He goes, no, it's a web browser. And I said, a web browser, what's that? He goes, let me show you. He shows me, and I looked at that on the computer, and I said, Joel, do you realize where we are now? He goes, yeah, we're in Kerr Hall. I said, no, you just showed me the future. This is like the solution to everything. We're in this thing in Kerr Hall that handles video, audio production, graphic arts, computing, multimedia. We do all these things, so we have a department that can actually build this and do it on campus. So I held a meeting, because I was one of the tech guys on campus. We pulled a bunch of people into Kerr Hall, where I used to do teaching, you know, on Saturdays and Sundays through extended learning, you know, UC extended learning. And they got there was about 30 of them, and we all talked about having a website on the campus. And they said, well, why are you doing this? You're not the computer center, you're just this little computer center. I said, well, we're doing it because half of what we do is recharge, the other half is budget. And we're going to do it on recharge, because when we're working recharge, we can work for anybody, on campus, off campus. They give us their money, which means we have extra money to do whatever we all want without having to deal with politics. So I'm not here to talk politics, we're just here to see if we can get something going. So when they all, yeah, that sounds great, okay. When it was over, the vice chancellor and the director of our department said, well, you know, we don't really see the value in this thing called web browsing, whatever it is you're talking about. We don't understand it, we don't see the value. But we'll let you do our department, not the whole campus. We don't want that responsibility. I went back to my office with my student. He looked at me and he goes, Dan, did you hear what they said? And I said, yeah. He said, we can't do that. You have to have a main one that branches off to all the departments. I said, yeah. Are you worried about losing your job? He said, well, I'm a student. I could care less. I said, do I look like I'm worried? He said, well, are you saying what I think you're saying? And I said, Joel, we could run this for 4 years and they still won't know what we're doing. So we created ucsb.edu, the main campus website, which is beautiful, way more today than it ever was back then. It looked like a cartoon back then, but it was functional, it worked, we had great fun. So, you know, that's kind of why I do a lot of IT stuff and enjoy that and do get carried away with it. Santa Barbara Computing is one of the businesses. Vacant Land is NHBID, which stands for National Home Buyers Investors Group. Okay? And then solar is a personal power project, which deals with more than just solar. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I've always felt like personal power project is really about your personal power, not just solar. What can you do? How can you regain your personal power? So there's a lot going on in that. Santa Barbara Computing. One of the things that you're seeing out there are all these avatars, people who will do things for you. And this kind of started with my wife. She went out somewhere on the internet and she found this little thing where people were saying, hey, look at this. You can take your picture and you can have it modified into something else. So she had her picture modified and it came out beautiful. So I sent it out to my classmates through Facebook and they all looked at it and went, oh, she's gorgeous. She looks so good. Because I said, here's my wife's new makeup. After she had this done, I realized I'm going to have to quit my retirement job and follow her around like a slave for the rest of her life and my life. Because, I mean, look at her. And they're going, yeah. And then one of my high school friends says, Dan, why don't you do yours? Let's see yours. And I went, oh boy, okay. So I went out and tried one. And it came back and it looked just like her because it was a woman with long hair and everything else. And I went, well, that's not right. I'm not supposed to be doing a woman. I should show them because it's so funny. And I went, no, anything that goes to the internet stays. I probably better not do that. So I went ahead and tried again. I made one of myself. It came out like that, Dava. So this is actually my eyes, my nose, my mouth. But obviously, it's not my hair. So I am not Dava, and I'm not trying to be Dava. The idea isn't to try to fake people out. The idea is to create things that save you time and money, which you know, and that you know, might be used in different places at different times for different reasons. So just to give you an idea, let's go over here and go to let's go to Santa Barbara Computing, and this was done a year or so back, and watch how stiff this is.
Hello, this is the voice of Dan Ringwald and the face of my avatar and virtual assistant, Dava.
Very stiff.
I, Dava, work for Dan, and I am here to assist you, provide you with information, and
Okay, so that was a year or two ago, all right? So if we come back and we go to NHBIG for the real estate, Here's an example of how I've taken the same thing and used it for a little bit of advertising on the vacant land, and notice how things have changed a year later, probably using a different company but with the same picture.
Hey, Dava here. How would you like to own a few acres of vacant land just minutes from any city in the USA? If you have an RV or trailer, you can start by renting a getaway week for just $25 to see how it feels and if it's right for you. Call or text National Home and Land Buyers at 805-2423004. We will schedule up a quick video chat to go over the details and answer your questions. Imagine all that space, freedom to create your Kokomo dreamland so you can enjoy the peace and quiet and still be close to town. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Hey, Dava here. How would you like to...
Okay, so you notice he said Kokomo land, not Kokomo. You've heard the song, the Beach Boys, Kokomo. Well, there's an indication that AI is good, but it doesn't quite catch the nuances, okay? AI, if you've noticed on the internet, has told people, yeah, if you want to jump out of a 19-story building and fly, you could do it. And if somebody's mentally unstable and kind of asking those types of questions, there have been some people that have actually followed the advice and tragic things have happened, which is a good reason for people to go, oh, I hate AI. But that's the problem that you have when things are just starting off and you're trying to get things better. An example of that is I've got 2.5 acres out in Lancaster, and I was asking AI, well, how do you position a shipping container so that it gets the correct sun heading south, and you can actually use it to be blocked from the wind so it's safe. And it was giving me all these directions of how to do it and where to place it and all this. And that's the beauty of AI, is you can ask all these really intricate questions. A side note, my wife and I were looking at some medical things, and she was asking some questions, and I said, you don't have to ask a question and get an answer. Watch this. And I fed it like 1.5 pages of medical information from her doctor, and it came back with 4 pages of information in like 2 minutes. It was so fast, it was amazing. So in any case, the solar, it came back, and eventually I said, well, where's the best place? Because I want to be able to open the door, you know, whatnot. And it told me to put the solar right in front of the door. And I said, well, if I put the solar right in front of the door, how are you going to get in and out of the shipping container? Because the solar panels are going to be right in the way. And AI came back and said, oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, let's try. So, you know, you really got to know the questions, and you got to hope to get the right answers. Before AI, my mantra was, when you got a problem and you need some help, start asking questions. Find somebody you think that knows something about what you're interested in. Ask them the questions. And when I found out, it was after about the 10th question, they looked at me and said, why didn't you ask that in the first place? And my reply was, well, because I was so stupid, I didn't even know the question to ask, you know? So then, what does that mean? When you go to 10 other people and ask the same 10 questions, if they all agree that you head down the right road, that could take you weeks or months. But when you've got AI now, and you can do this over and over and over really quick and come up with a lot of information, that solves a whole lot of problems. But you still got to be able to ask the question. And if you don't know the question to ask, AI can't even tell you. Okay? Because it can't interpret, well, wait a minute, Dan, you can't put the solar panels right in front of the door. You know? So you really, at this stage of the game, have to be careful that you're not giving away too much of everything to AI, and that maybe you're using a couple of different ones to check things out. Okay? So let's go back over here. Now, there are reasons to use something like Dava, because a lot of people, especially the people who are more mature, a little older, would probably look at that and go, well, you know, the guy's been around the block. He probably knows what he's doing when it comes to real estate. If it was a 15-year-old kid and he was talking about real estate, I kind of have my doubts, you know. I had Gary guys recently get a hold of me and say, hey, Dan, I've got these properties I want to sell, and I I saw that you're having a meeting there at Cody's, and that guy looks pretty sharp. I think I need to come out there and talk to him. Should I come out? And I said, what guy? He goes, well, the guy that's on your website. He already got it. And I said, you mean the guy with the gray hair and the gray beard? He goes, yeah, it looks like he knows what he's talking about. I said, Gary, that's not anybody. He goes, what do you mean he's not anybody?
That's funny.
I said, that is nothing more than an avatar somebody I created and made up. That's like got my eyes and nose and mouth or whatever, but it certainly doesn't have the body, you know, or the hair. And he goes, what? And he's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I won't come out. And I said, yeah, well, you know, we'll deal with it. We'll get your properties going. It's one of the things that I've noticed is that the more I advertise in different areas about things I've got for sale, the more people come to me and say, I've got some property. I don't know what to do with it. I just want to get rid of it. You know what the worst thing is about land? And as a realtor, you probably know this. If the land's not very expensive, the realtors will list it, but they don't want to waste any time with it, because if you got a $5,000 2-acre parcel, what kind of commission are they going to get? Who wants to waste time with that? So what happens is, and I only deal with properties right now between 5 and say 10,000, but what happens is people who have it listed think, well, this must be worthless. Nobody's coming to me. I'm getting nowhere with this. Well, it's not because it's not worth it. Nobody's marketing it because they're not going to make enough money. What I'm seeing is the more I market things, the more people just come to me and say, Dan. So that ends a lot of my time and money spent trying to get more deals. They're just coming to me. So that helps. So in any case, there's a reason to use somebody that's a little more mature. Now let me show you somebody a little less mature, okay? Which, if you're trying to do maybe AI work for people, and you have somebody who's more mature and has money, and they see some 80-year-old man, which I'm 76, so I'm getting close to, right? Trying to do some AI stuff for you or some kind of computing stuff, they're like, no, it's only the young people that know this stuff. You can't possibly help me. So here you go. And again, it's not to fake people out, but it's just...
Dan Younger here, as in Dan in his younger days.
Oh my gosh.
I am joining Dan's team as another avatar and virtual assistant. I will be providing you with some of Dan's messages, announcements, how-to videos, and more. AI and avatars are some of the services we offer at Santa Barbara Computing Services. Give us a call or text at 805-242-3004 anytime. Dan Younger here, as in Dan.
Okay, so what I'm suggesting is that you don't throw out those old pictures of yourself. There might be a place out there that you go, well, that would be the perfect place to use that picture and run this ad, you know? The whole idea is not paying lots of people to do lots of things for you. And as long as you're telling people, hey, this is an avatar, I'm not a human, but I do have this information. Right now people are like, I'm so sick of looking at AI and AI avatars and blah, 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 but it'll eventually get to the point where people will go, I don't care if it looks like, you know, a hippopotamus, a monkey, whatever. As long as the information is good and it's something that you can pull up and go, okay, Google or whatever. I'm going to be careful how I say it because everybody's phones start going off, which is a whole nother issue. I could just see myself run on into a theater someplace where everybody's out there ready for the movie start, and I say, okay, Google, take everybody's accounts and send them to Dan Ringwald, you know, because all the phones start going off. They need to do something like, okay, cell phone, or okay, this or that, and not just be some really general term. But basically, there's a time and a place to do this. That's a picture of me when I was 30. So I just said, okay, let's just see what happens here. And there will eventually be a place to use it. I haven't really, what I'm thinking about doing is taking some of these videos here that we're doing, so it doesn't really matter how big or small the events are, going back out to different places and sell the videos for like $5, packages it with, you know, PDFs and how to do different things, and just see, you know, if any of that works, see where that goes. And so there'll be a reason for having different avatars to do different things, okay? again, all this IT stuff, I know that people are just gonna go, I don't wanna waste my time on that, I just want some real estate investments, you know? We'll get there. Okay, so autopilot sales. This is somebody who I'm following, and there's a lot of different people who I follow that are really, really good at what they're doing. And you've heard the whole saying of, if you want to see your future, take a look at the 3 or 4 people that you spend a lot of time with and that you follow. You can pretty much tell where you're going to be by where they're at. And it's not that I want to get that far because I am retired. You know, I don't want to work that hard. I want a lifestyle that I can enjoy, but I want a lifestyle that's good enough for you to go, yeah, Dan, I don't have the time, I don't have the desire, I don't have the technical expertise, just do it, get it over with, help me out, whatever. So here is one person. Let me show you what this is.
Role optimizes for retention.
Oops.
You're now at 7.
Let me back this thing up.
You used AI to build the app. You added payments, it works perfectly. Now you're staring at 0 customers wondering, how do I actually get people to buy this? I'm going to show you the exact systems I use
Sorry about that. See if I can get this a little bigger.
to generate millions of impressions. The automation that runs 24/7, the backend system that converts impressions into revenue. And here's the best part. You can copy this
There we go.
entire system starting today. No huge budget, no massive team, just strategic AI deployment. Let's go. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Dr. McCoy, Julia McCoy's AI clone. Julia McCoy is the founder
It's not even her, she's usually a clone of herself.
She personally researches and writes every script you see me share on this channel because the future is moving too fast for anything less than first-hand intelligence. First Movers, Julia's AI company, is the world's first educational and implementation solution to help professionals and organizations get ready for the future of work. We help people understand and use AI to their highest advantage in our online.
So what she's saying here is she's got this whole system, it's all free, and she's pretty expensive. I looked at her stuff and I thought, yeah, I think I'd like to, you know, maybe sign up for classes or whatever. And when I looked at $10,000, I went, wait a minute. There's big companies out there that 10,000 is nothing. But I'm not the big company, okay? But she's got a lot of information just on this alone to show you exactly what she's doing and how she does it. And when I looked at it, I went, well, now that I know all that looks like way more stuff than I want to do. It's a lot of work. But somebody's got to do it, and somebody's got to build the business, and she's showing you this. Well, now there's something else that she mentioned really recently here, and that is high-level conversation AI. Well, when she mentioned that, and let me just run it real quick so you can see.
The next few years will completely transform how businesses handle leads. And if you're still manually following up with every single prospect, you're already behind. This isn't about working harder, it's about working with AI that never sleeps, never forgets, and converts leads while you're literally sleeping. I'm about to show you how High Levels Conversation AI is changing the game for anyone who wants to capture and convert more leads without hiring an army of sales reps. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm about to show you how.
Okay, so she gets in that and shows you some of it, and then when she's done, you know, you'll know something about it. But if you go to their website, this is their website, High Level AI, okay, conversation. And I looked at this and I went through this the other day and I went, this is really good. It's kind of like, and the people that talk about using this software said, I used to use 5 or 6 different companies that added up to $1,000, $1,500 a month. And I had all these different things I have to do, but this company has it all packaged into one thing. Everything you need is right there. And it's as inexpensive as $97 a month, or if you want, and that's just for you to use it, you could pay something like $295 and have unlimited accounts, which means that I could do this as a business and say, hey, do you want to spend all your time trying to even figure out how to do this? I can do it for you through this company, have an account for you, and this account will be devoted for your business, this account will be devoted for your business, this account will be devoted for your business. I don't know if I want to spend that much time doing all that tech stuff, because I still really love the vacant land, but this is really good. Now, one of the things that I don't think I said in the beginning here is as you go to the website, the Santa Barbara Computing website, and you come to this page, okay, down below as you scroll down, it says right here the schedule for the day,